Hello and welcome to Big Wonderland. I am Reika and this is Mickey who decided to join me for today's YouTube video. I'm coming to you from Belgium and this is my podcast where I talk about my adventures in fiber arts, all my crafting, all my making, what I currently enjoy doing. Welcome back. I'm really happy that you're here. And grab something to drink, grab your project, because this will be a long one. It's been a while since I came back to you with some updates. I always show what I've been working on, finished objects, current projects, which I am actively working on. So if I didn't touch a project since the last episode, I'm not going to show that. And oftentimes I talk about books I acquired or I am reading, or some trips I made, some trips I took, and what yarn I bought, if I bought any. Usually that's the souvenir I'm taking. So grab your project and let's get started. First, let's start with the finished items. Since we last talked, there was the Olympics happening and I really enjoyed watching it. We both really like sports with my partner, and I grew up watching a lot of sports with my dad, and that reminded me of those times. So I took great pleasure in cheering for different teams, different sports, just immersing myself in the experience. Oh, by the way, this is not my usual filming location, but I thought we will try this out and switch things up. And if you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, also let me know, please. I'm trying to find a spot in a flat where there is the lighting, like where the lighting is better. Because in Belgium we don't always have sunny days, and I cannot always wait for that with filming. So surrounded by windows, I thought this is a nice spot. But if it's weird or something, then let me know. So we watched the Olympics and I had a lot of time when I needed to occupy my hands, so I finished a few items. My first thing which I finished was my Jupiter crop, a beautiful colorwork piece which I started on my trip to Lisbon on my birthday. Not all the ends are woven in yet because I take my time with that. Weaving ends in colorwork is a bit trickier than usual, so I'm just knitting when I'm knitting, and then sometimes I take like a few 15 minutes to weave in one or two ends. So I went to Lisbon at the end of May, which is my birthday, and I knew I wanted to get a kit for this particular sweater in Retrosaria Rosa Pomar, which is a really lovely yarn shop, and I absolutely love their yarn. I love the experience when you go there, and the stuff is really helpful and nice. Yes, so I knew I wanted to get the sweater kit for this piece, and I did, but I switched up some of the colors. So I think the blue is not the same blue, and what I picked for red is originally a rusty brown color. I think the rest was the same. Yes, so I cast it on at the end of May 31st, and I finished it July 27, so just after the Olympics started. The main body is in 3.5 millimeter needles, and the ribbing, the edges are in 3 millimeter needles. I made size 3, and this was made in Retrosaria Vovo, which is 100% wool, Portuguese wool, sport weight yarn. I think it's sport weight. Yes, sport weight yarn. And I loved it. And I love the texture. I love the colors. I love the fit. I will put up a picture when I'm wearing it because I did not want to wear any knitwear today. And the only thing which was tricky, and I don't know if I did something or if it was the pattern, but there is short row shaping at the neck. You can see it here. And I did ask for help for the shirt rows from friends, and then I watched videos and I did it, and I followed the pattern and I followed the videos, but somehow the placing is not right, so it's not in the complete back in the middle but on the right side. So it's a bit weird, and if I will make it another time, and I probably will make this pattern again, but from like a size bigger and from cotton yarn, I think, because I have a lot of like 1-2 balls of cotton yarn from Catania, Sahimare Catania, and I want to use it for this. So when I'm doing it next time, I will just omit the short rows, absolutely. Because what happened is that you start the short rows at the beginning of the round, and it goes back and forth, but it never passed on a way back to, it never passed through the beginning of the round marker. So that was strange, and it ended up being on the side. But then I was so happy I got over it, and I just continued with the color work, and later I figured it out, and I noticed that I'm like, I'm not going to frog it. I'm not going to frog color work if I don't have to, and I don't have to, and when I'm wearing it, it doesn't really show. Also, my hair kind of covers it, so it's fine, and we are leaving it. That was the only thing I noticed, which was strange with the pattern, which I don't know if it was me, because I'm not really an experienced short row shaper, or it was the pattern, but it's fine. And the chilly autumn weather is already here in Belgium, and the mornings are cold already. So as soon as I finished weaving in the million ends I made, I will block this and I will start wearing it with long skirts, with high-waisted jeans. It will be super cool, because yeah, it's called Jupiter crop because it's cropped, and as you see, I'm wearing a skirt and it ends just a little bit under the end of the skirt, so it's perfect. I still absolutely love stranded color work. I am just so in love with this. I have absolutely no problem reading the charts. Figuring out the yarn management was a little bit tricky at first, but I did that already with my previous color work project when I made the Regoangus cowl, and also from Portugal, and now it wasn't an issue. I would say the trickiest bit is when you knit with 3 colors in one row, but it's absolutely manageable. And why I started with showing you this finished item is because I would like to talk about a knit along I'm starting. Basically, this sweater and my love for color work started the idea of doing a knit along, a knit together of color work pieces. So the theme is Colorful Knitted Autumn Colorful Knitted Autumn Knit Along. I will put it up on the screen, and I will use the hashtag on Instagram, and I would encourage you to join me in knitting color work pieces. So not just stripes, but like stranded color work, intarsia, whatever is your thing. Just pick something, pick a project, big or small, and immerse yourself in this technique. It can be a totally new technique for you. There are some wonderful pieces which are really suitable for beginners, which will help you figure out the basics, which will help you learn yarn management and catching floats, or like managing floats, and just show you if this thing is for you or not. So if you wanted to try it, but you have been intimidated, then I would like to encourage you to start with us now. I already have a few people who said they will join, and I will run the knit along from September 2nd until the end of November, so November 30th. And then 2nd of September at the afternoon/evening by standard Central European time, I will host a cast-on party on Zoom. So if you would like to participate in that, please send me a message either on Instagram, which is Whip Wonderland. You can also find me on Ravelry as Whip Wonderland. You can message me there, or on my email address, which is whipwonderland@gmail.com, and I will put everything in the description down below. Also, all the projects I'm talking about will be in the description down below. I totally forgot to mention all of the standard admin stuff at the start, but there you go. So there will be custom party, there will be a quite spacious long knit along, and during the whole time I want to make an Instagram chat where we can, a group chat where we can connect and share our projects. I am looking forward to see all your projects on Instagram and under the hashtag. And also, if more people would like to do that, I am happy to host more knit togethers on Zoom during the time of the call. I am already preparing to put together like a, not a bundle, but something like a list of resources, and maybe film some short videos to help you how to start, or what projects to pick, or what are my favorite projects and what I will be making, and some videos which other wonderful knitters made about techniques and just tips and tricks how to do it better. So that's the plan, and I really hope that you join me. And if you are just scared to start, then hold my hand and let's start together. I am planning to make 2 projects, one small and one big, a cowl and one t-shirt in cotton. And yeah, that's the plan. But I will put up probably more things on Instagram when I prepare. And of course the custom party will be there, and I will cast on my project there. But you don't have to custom with us. Work in progress projects are welcome. You can start already and just join in when we start the call. And you don't have to finish things. You don't have to, if you take on a whole sweater, you don't have to finish it by the end of the call. So it's completely like a laid back chill thing. It's more about community and encouragement and inspiring than it is about no, you have to start and finish and whatever. So that's the plan. As you can tell, I'm really excited, and I'm really looking forward. So that's the color group bit of the podcast today. Let's move on. If you have any questions regarding any of these or the projects I'm talking about, you can leave them in the comment section under this video, or you can just send me a message on any of the platforms I'm on. I link all my connections down in the description box. So, first finished object done. The second finished object, which I actually cast on because I was watching more Olympics and I needed to occupy my hands, and I wanted something really simple, really easy, which uses up yarn from my stash. So this year I'm really focusing on using the yarn I have, and next year probably as well. I am focusing on clearing my stash, so I don't have these random bits and pieces, but I will, of course I will have scrap yarn always, but like I have a huge stash of cotton yarn and silk yarn, and I would like to go through those. And so working with that, obviously there are limited amounts from certain things. And I had yarn left over from my Sunday sweater from Petite Knit, which I also have the mohair left over, and the main yarn was Camaros Snefnog. And I wanted to use the Snefnog alone. It's called Hunter Green, I think. And I wanted to make a slip over. And I took a long time. This took me more than a year to find this pattern and decide to make this pattern, because I wanted something super simple, minimal shaping, but probably cropped, and for this yarn. So I didn't want to do any math. I didn't want to learn new techniques with this. I just wanted to use up the yarn I have and make a matching slip over to my sweater. And so I found the pattern called Simple Vest by Emily Bolduan. I'm sorry, I really don't know how you spell your name. I'm really sorry. But it's a free pattern on Ravelry. Obviously, I have it linked on my project page. And it was perfect because it's exactly the same weight of yarn, and the metrage, the yardage for the piece was perfect. I have like a tiny bit left, which I will keep in case I need to repair it. And it's just like you pick up the back, you start to knit the back, and then you pick up one side of the front, second side of the front, you join the neckline, then do more increases for the armhole, and then just knit in a round stockinette, and then ribbing in the bottom, and then you pick up stitches, a neckline and armholes and ribbing, done. And this pattern was written for beginners, so it's super simple. It's really well written. I absolutely loved this pattern, and I already have plans to do 2 more in different colors. I want a black one for sure, and I would like to have a red one as well, but I do not have yarn for that, so that's just in a future plan now. Obviously, still not all the ends are woven in. It's so soft. The yarn is 100% wool, and it was so neat to make. So I started it on July 28th, and I finished it August 4. Yeah, I think it was August 4. I somehow didn't write the date exactly. And it fits great. And I just tried it on multiple times and went until I felt like it's okay. I did not want it to be super cropped. I wanted to cover my lower back, because why I wanted a sleepover is I sit while I work. So I work as a coach and trainer. Obviously, when I have training, I'm not sitting, but when I do coaching, I do it mostly online. And so I sit in front of the computer, also all the admin work, the marketing, whatever, I do everything for myself. I do it sittings, and I tend to have cold feet and a cold back, and I didn't want to wear a sweater because my arms are moving, so they are not cold, but my back is. So that's why I really wanted a sleepover. And I have one in gray and white, which is a store-bought one, but it's not the best fit and not the best color for me, and this is just amazing. So Simple West by Emily Bolden. I made size 3, and I used 6 and 7mm needles, so it was absolutely super fast. And why I started this is partly because I needed something simple and easy, and partly because my other projects were all in teeny tiny needles, like 3mm, and my hand started to hurt after a while, so I wanted something on bigger needles. Really love it, totally recommend. Grab it, do it. Yeah, best choice. So happy that I waited for this. And I have a third item. Told you I knitted a lot during the Olympics. This you saw before. It's the Anchor Summer shirt. I never know which one is which. By Petite Knit. And I highly modified it. So I did the yoke as she wrote in a pattern, but I put their stripes because I had 2 different type of sock yarns. So the white is Filcolana Arvetta, which is a light fingering weight yarn. It's for socks basically. And the other one is Regia, Sashimaya Regia, which is also a sock yarn, also fingering weight. And I had 2 bowls of the green and 1.5 or something like 1 bowl of the white. And I just wanted to use it up because I knew I'm not going to make socks out of this green. This green looks really good on me. As you see, it's my color. And I wanted to put a twist on this shirt because I generally struggle with petite knit patterns, especially with the sleeves. I don't know what it is. I think her designs are really nice and sort of timeless, and you can do a lot of things with it, and I like them, but I did not have any petite knit patterns so far, which I didn't have a problem with yet. So anytime there, I had some issues, and it might be just a me problem, and my brain doesn't work the same way, like hers or any other people who love her patterns, but that's the case. And I have a few of her patterns because, as I said, I love the design. I'm just struggling with it. So I decided to put a twist on it, and I did knit this pattern before, and that piece turned out a bit big, so I am gifting it to my mom when we meet at the end of the month. So I decided to make it stripy, and I wanted sort of a vintagey look. So I made it short sleeve, and the sleeves are quite tight. And then under the bust, I immediately started the ribs. So this should be a loose fitting, like t-shirt style of thing. And for me, it's a really fitted vintagey stuff. So under the bust, it already starts the ribbing, and it's quite cropped. So it covers my belly button because that was important for me, but then it ends. And it turned out just as I wished, and it turned out great. The pattern is originally for DK weight yarn, and I used fingering, so I went 1 size up in the pattern sizing. and but the needles I kept more or less. So the main body I used 4 millimeter needles, and on the on the ribbing on the body I used 3 millimeter needles. But the sleeves I don't like to do with magic loop, and I have 3.5 millimeter needles in 9-inch so short circular needles, and I put it on that, and I know that on like 9-inch circulars my gauge is a bit looser, so I knew that it will be good with like matching the 4 millimeter needle like big gauge, and it did. But it's a bit snug, which I'm happy about, so I really like the fit. And then I decided to keep the whole sleeve on that, so even the ribbing is on the 3.5. I modified it so much I'm not even sure it's the same pattern anymore. But I needed to frog, obviously, because it was like a design on a go thing. I frogged it quite a few times, but I really love how it turned out, and it's like really squishy and airy. Most of the vents are woven in, but at the end, I don't know how much it shows, but there are these things, because I thought I won't even touch the second ball of green yarn, but then I got to the ribbing and I felt like that ribbing never ends, and I used up the entire ball, so much so that to finish the bind off I needed to cut off, like weave in the ends and cut off the ends of those like tails and tie them to the end of my bind off yarn to finish the bind off. So the bottom hand, like the finishing, is not the prettiest, not the nicest, but I plan to use it like tucked in pants and skirts, so I'm fine. And even if it's out, I don't think many people will notice, and honestly I don't care, because do this and then tell me it's not good. So that's the thing. I started this before my trip to Portugal, so May 27th, as a travel project before I could start the Jupiter crop, and I finished it on August 13th. So after I finished the vest, I went on to do this, because doing one by one rib is quite easy, simple, so I didn't have to worry about following any pattern or chart or anything. So this was my other mindless project during the Olympics. So 3 finished objects, I'm quite happy with that. Let's move on to work in progress. So I have embroidery, crochet and knitting for you. I have absolutely new projects of which you haven't seen before, and I have, oh my god, so basically I think, yeah, all my knitting projects which I worked on, you haven't seen them because I started them since the last podcast. Life. But the first thing I want to show you is my embroidery progress. It's not a lot. So I have a kit from Whimper's Embroidery, which I absolutely love. I am a beginner in embroidery and I wanted to just have a kit to do and not to buy all the individual supplies. What if I don't like it? But I love it. So yeah, since then I have other kit from her, which I also want to show you shortly. So this is where I am. I see through. So I progressed more with the couch, but honestly I wanted to do this during the Olympics, but I could not pay attention to it that much, so I switched to knitting. So I didn't touch it for like 2 weeks, and then I went on a craft meetup and this is what I took with me. So that's why the couch looks much better now. So what is left is the rest of the couch, the rug and the plants, and then I should be done. I really love this kit because the instructions are really clear in the booklet, and yeah, it has every supply I needed, everything. And yeah, I think I will show you the extra kit now and not at the end. So she has Whimper's Embroidery has subscription service, So you can buy one-off kits like the couch one I am doing, and you can also have a subscription from her. You can buy just one kit, or you can subscribe for 3 months or longer. And that means that every 2 months you will get one full kit delivered, which is designed entirely for the subscription. So it's a one-time thing. You cannot buy it separately, you cannot buy it later, nothing like that. It's just like a one-time thing. And she every year she has a collaboration with another designer, and this year she was inspired by print, and she made the design based on that. So this is the August subscription kit. I do not have the subscription, so this was a one-time order from me because I wanted this kit specifically, although she already released the next kit, which comes in October, and it's so cute. It's so unbelievably cute that I'm thinking to buy the PDF version of the subscription just to have it. But as I'm only working on one embroidery design at once, and I do not know when I will finish that, and then I will still have this kit, and I have another kit as well which I can work on. So no embroidery purchase for me for a while until I finish these, because I do not want to end up with a billion embroidery hoops around me and then get overwhelmed. That's not the purpose why I do embroidery. I just wanted to enjoy it. And also I love Readly, which is like an app kind of like Netflix for magazines, and they have the Love Embroidery magazine, and I just adore that and I love it, and I always read that, and they have their designs in like PDF form included in the magazine. So there are many which I bookmarked and I want to make at one point in my life. I don't think I will live long enough to do all of them, but it's a different problem. Anyway, so long story short, I ordered the August kit when there was a birthday sale, and it arrived, and I just wanted to, so in the kit basically you have everything. You have the hoop, you have the design, needles, thread, booklet with the instructions. And I just wanted to show you the design because I think it's gorgeous. I will put it on the booklet so it's not that see-through. This is how it looks unstitched. And yeah, you just put it in the hoop. There are tips and tricks how to put it correctly, how to make sure you don't have these little flickering things when you are embroidering. And the colors of the thread is DMC thread. It's really high quality, it's beautiful, and you have enough, even with mistakes, to stitch the whole thing. So I'm looking forward to make this. And she also has some tutorials in Instagram how to do the stitches, not just the written thing. So I find it really convenient, and I find it lovely to make that. Okay, so that was embroidery. And yeah, let's start with crochet because this one you already seen and you already know. So this is my friendship blanket, which is called friendship blanket because a lovely friend of mine gave it to me. She started it and then she needed to move overseas, and then and she asked me if I want it because she cannot take it with her. And the last time you saw me working on it, or you saw the design, was when I was still working on the stripes. So until this marker, the bottom was what she made, and then from the marker was all my work. There was not enough yarn to make it a decent size, like a lap blanket, so I bought more yarn, which is from Lemmy Yarns, and it's called Canada. Everything is linked in my Ravelry project page. And I finished the stripes, and I decided to make a border because sometimes in the sides it wasn't really even, like I don't know how much it shows because of the ends, obviously not woven in. Anyway, so the ends, like the sides, were not always even, so I thought I would correct it with a border, and I chose this purple one, which I got from a friend from the craft group, which is the exact same yarn. It's just purple, and I thought it would be a nice accent on the blue stripes. So I started to work on the borders, and I'm almost finished. I also worked on this during the Olympics. So I think like I have like 30 centimeters. I have like this much to do the the edge, and I think I will go over one more time the whole thing, and then I'm done. And then I will make a picture, send the picture to my friend that hey, we did it, and then move on to other projects. There is no pattern, it's just double crochet all the way, and I was switching colors every 3 or 4 rounds depending on the sequence, and I used a 5.5 millimeter hook, which she gave me because she started it with that. And I got it from her last year, but I picked it up this April 4th, and I'm still working on it, but it was summer weather, finally some warmth here in Belgium, so I did not have it on my lap all the time, obviously. Now that the weather is more chilly, I think I will finish it really soon. Yes, so the rest of the new projects. Since I talked about the craft group, my biggest project bag is full of a new project. This pin I really love. So in the craft group, someone is always decluttering, you know, and destashing. And one of our lovely members, who I got the purple yarn from, also brought 2 huge balls of yarn, which I think is like a cotton acrylic mix, or maybe acrylic, no idea. It's very squishy, but it's the size of my head. And when I saw it, I was like, this is perfect for a striped loose fit sweater. And then we went to the beach in like, it's the northern sea, kind of. It's cold. And then I felt chilly, and then we got home and I'm like, yep, I need a beach sweater. And I found a pattern, also free, on Ravelry. It's called On the Beach by Isabel Kremer. I think that's how you say it, which I'm calling the beach sweater. And it's like a V-neck, really thick stripes, loose fitting sweater. Perfect, exactly what I wanted. And I started to do it, and then it's raglan, and my brain just, I need to focus a lot when I'm doing raglan, and I wanted this as my next Olympics project, and I needed to put it down because raglan was too much for my brain while I'm cheering for my countries. Because yeah, I was cheering for my home country. We were cheering for Belgium. I was also cheering for Czech Republic, where I lived before, and we were obviously cheering for my partner's home country, which is Brazil. So we cheered a lot. Anyway, so yeah, I started this, and I put it down because of the raglan, and I will pick it up later. It's anyway too late to finish during summertime, but I am so inspired by this yarn combo. I think it's a DK weight yarn. That's how the gauge shows, at least. And there was no yarn, ball bend, nothing. I just measured how heavy they are and kind of guessed what could be the meterage based on DK. We will see. I started it on August 1st on 5 millimeter needles, and hopefully we'll finish it during the winter. But I'm not really rushing with it. I want to wear it next summer or next spring when we go to the beach again. So it's fine. It's like a fallback project, you know, when everything else is just too much and I don't want to make lace or color work or complicated charts or whatever. This is perfect. So I mentioned that I had projects on small needles, and one of them, which I initially started to work on while watching the Olympics, sorry, all the Olympics, like everything. It was just here and it was happening and we were obsessed and we were watching it all the time. So I wanted to do a typo top ever since Marie from Greener Makes announced her new design, and then she was looking for test knitters, but at that time it didn't really fit into my schedule and I didn't apply as a test knitter. But as soon as she released the pattern, I bought it and I wanted to make a typo top, and I knew that I wanted to make it in linen. So after one of the craft meetups, we went to the craft store, obviously, and I bought some linen from Katja, which I wanted to try for a long while. Where is the ball pen? Yep. So it's Katja Lino. It's 100% linen, and it's quite rustic. Like it's harsh. It's hard to work with in terms of I don't find the right word, in terms of how much the yarn obeys you. It sounds silly, but I will show you what I mean. So it shows that it has like no softness yet, and this end of yarn, I actually needed to weave in one end already because I didn't leave long enough tail and it's kind of unraveling. Yes, but I think, and it hurt my hand. It's tough. It's stiff. It's tough. It's just like really straight. And if you see my ball yarn, which I'm working with, it's constantly coming off because of how much it's not soft. So that's not the best, but I know that it will soften with time, and I know I will absolutely love this top. So I wanted to make it in black. I know I'm crazy, don't even tell me. And I had leftover pure silk from my Sailor Thrift top, and I really love this hot pink. So that's what I will do, what I will use to make the patterns on it. So it has slip stitches to make patterns which look kind of like typography symbols, and I wanted it in pink. So I'm really happy about how it's going. Obviously I need to put it down because of the pain in my hands, but I will pick it up, and I really love it, and I look forward to having it and wearing it next summer, or maybe during the winter, because I love to wear linen all year long. I just throw on a cardigan and it's fine. I started it then July 27, right after I finished my Jupiter crop. And yeah, as I said, I started the vest, the simple vest, which I ended up working on the next day because I realized I cannot keep working on this with the tiny needles while watching the games. And my love, my absolute obsession, my current everything is a shawl. I know it's August, but it's usually cold here in Belgium. We didn't really have a summer. We had a lot of rain and not that much of, sunny heat wave. So I don't feel bad at all. This is, and I'm trying to show it to you without unraveling the whole thing. So this is the Silta shawl, and it's a pattern from the book 52 Weeks of Shawls. And when I first held that book in my hand in a bookshop, well, a yarn shop, sorry, and I flipped through it, I saw this and I immediately fell in love, and I knew I needed to do it. I just didn't have yarn for it. I didn't have the pattern yet because obviously the book just released and I didn't buy the book yet. And I since then I was dreaming of it. And then now when I finished my Jupiter crop, I had some leftover yarn of Retrosaria Rosa Pomar Vovo, which is 100% Portuguese wool, and it's a sport weight. sport weight yarn, and this pattern is for DK weight. And then we went to Hamburg a few weeks ago, and I got this lovely blue, which is not color accurate at all. Probably I shouldn't film with light with at my back, but we are rolling with it today, so I'm sorry. Next time I will be smarter. So this is rosy green wool, cheeky merino joy, and it's 100% organic merino extra fine virgin wool, and it's actually GOTS certified, which is a lovely thing to know. And this is the same weight, and so sport weight. Sport or worsted? Sport is like fingering and lace, and it's like below DK, right? And then worsted is like DK plus lace or DK plus fingering, right? Think so. Anyway, so this is between fingering and DK. That's the one I'm talking about. And I wanted to make something with this. And then I realized that this could be perfect as one of the colors for the Silta. And I checked the pattern and I checked the meterage. For the blue, I'm under the required meterage with like 10 meters, but I think it will be fine because if I run out, I will just pick up the gray again. And I held it, like I put it beside each other with some of the leftover yarns from my Jupiter crop. So I tried with the white, I tried with the pink, like light rose pink, and I tried it with the gray. And then I was texting my friends like, what do you think, which one would you choose? And then I was putting it up on Instagram, even in the stories, like, hey guys, can you give me your opinion and please vote? And everyone except 2 people told me to choose the gray. And one of my friends asked me like, what is the color of your winter coat? And I'm like, it's gray. Then choose the gray. I'm like, that's so smart. Like it will obviously match. So I went with the gray, but I only had like not a full skein of the gray, so I knew I needed to order more. And I really like Retroserie Rosa Pomar from Lisbon, so I went ahead, calculated if it's actually worth it for me to, you know, to get a few more bowls of this. And I ended up ordering 3 bowls. I would only need 2, but and I also had the extra tiny bit from the sweater. I think I would need 2. Anyway, I ordered an extra. And I ordered an extra because I know I want to make some more colorwork projects with the leftover yarn from my Jupiter crop. So that's what I ended up pairing it with. And it's a triangular shawl, and you start at the top, and then you know you work your way down, and it's like in sections. I know it's not showing properly, but it's like in sections. 1 section, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on the 6th section, which is twisted stitches, and it's such an interesting like structure. Don't know how to show so you actually see it. And I really enjoy working on this, like multiple times an evening. I'm just telling my partner how much I love this, because I got the blue yarn from him and also the pattern from him, and I just have so much joy working on it. And the increase is same throughout the whole shawl, so it's fairly easy to memorize. And the stitch patterns, because it's in blocks, it's simple enough so you can memorize it for that block, but complicated enough to not be boring until you finish that section. The sections are not that long, so you know when you are already in like, okay, I kind of got used to this, we can do something else now, then it switches. And it's just so beautiful, and it's squishy, and the Vovo was the perfect, absolutely perfect choice for this. Only thing is, we went to visit a vegan fest, and I ended up spilling my drink in my bag, and I got some stains on it. I don't know how much you see that. So I'm really hoping the wool wash takes it out, because I will be so sad if there is a brown stain on my gray shawl. Yes, I started this on August 8th. I was trying to push myself to wait, and I was trying to tell myself that Eureka, you applied for a test knit. Maybe wait until you know if you get in. And then I didn't get in to that test knit. I didn't get in to 3 test knits in a row. And I was so sad and I was so disappointed. And I understand you cannot pick everyone, and you know, there are just so many spaces. Like, I understand, and I don't expect designers to pick me all the time. It's fine. It was just, you know, one after another, and I got quite sad, like, okay, I guess I'm not good enough for this. And then I was like kind of revenge casting on the show to make myself feel better, and it worked. And then later, and I applied for another test knit, and I actually got in, and that's my last project to show you. So, oh, this is in 5.5mm needles, and I am expecting to finish it by the end of the month if everything goes according to plan, because I work on it every day a little bit, and we have a trip coming up at the end of the month. We're going to Hungary to visit my family, and to run a running race. I will run my first 10-kilometer race. I don't even know what was I thinking, but we will see. So as I was saying, I applied for another test knit, and this time I got in, and I'm extra happy about it, because this is a really pretty blouse, which is like airy and like flowy, and the yarn I chose is Knitting for Relief Pure Silk again. I just really love that yarn, and with that, the whole texture, the whole fabric which is produced is so beautiful. And the test knit runs until September, at the end of September, and it ends on the same date when my brother has his wedding, and I want to wear this as sort of like a top layer cardigan kind of blouse thing. Like, I will wear something under, but this will be the top layer with the blue pretty skirt. Yeah, so it's special. So this is the Amoretta blouse test knit by Isabella Clark, who is from 100 Acres Wools from Instagram. I will link her. She has really lovely designs. And so this is how far I am. I have like the shoulders already, and I'm working on the sleeves increases. Just need to put it down for a few days because of my workload, but now in the weekend I will pick it up, and I plan to catch up with the group. There is a group chat, and she's also really present. She's helping, she's supporting, answering all the questions. Sometimes I feel like my questions are really silly, but she's so eager to help. It goes really well, and I'm super happy because I love testing. I really like testing designs. This is something I enjoyed from my previous job as well, where I worked in finance, in payroll, and we often needed to test solutions in the systems, and that was something I really enjoyed. So this is kind of the same testing experience or feeling, you know, just with knitting, which I love. I keep it in this is originally like a plant pot, but I use it as a yarn ball, and it's so cute. I just carry it with me in the flat, so it stands on its feet, and the yarn doesn't run away. And I have a million markers, because that's something I do. I don't know if I can show it better on my Silta, but whenever I do designs where there are sections, you know, increase section, pattern section, whatever, I like to mark the repeats with the marker at the start of the first row of the repeat. So you see there are markers here. So there is a section of repeat here, and it's like 4-row repeat, and I put marker in the first row, so I know where I am, even if I put it down or I pick it up the next day or whatever, and I'm not lost in a pattern. And then I just do the repeats, and I just need to count the markers. It also works if it's a 2-row repeat or a 6-row repeat, whatever. Otherwise I would be lost. And you know, they often say in the patterns like repeat this part 8 times, or repeat this part 4 times in total, and yeah, it's easier to keep track of it. So that's my test knit. I'm really happy about it. I really love it. I started it on August 14 and it's on 3.5 millimeter needles, which is one size down than what is required, but that's how I got gauge, so I kept it. Yeah, I had the yarn already, so I did not need to wait, which was a really pleasant thing, because my previous test knit I needed to wait for the yarn and I felt like I lost a week. So this was really great that I could start as soon as we got the pattern, and I enjoy it very much. It's really nice to work on it. It had some new techniques for me, or like not really new techniques, but like trickier parts at the start, but I got through it really, like, surprisingly easy. Like, it seemed really tricky, and when I read the pattern, because I read the pattern before starting, and I'm like, how, like, how will I do that? And then I got there and I did it, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's fine. So yeah, and the group is really nice, helping each other, you know, sharing our projects. I really enjoy it. I enjoy test knitting. So those are my projects. I wanted to talk about the book, but I did not finish reading it yet, so it will be next time. Please join me in the colorwork call from September 2nd. If you can, join me for the cast on party, even if you are not casting on, just working on something. I would love to connect, love to meet you there. And you can join in the Instagram chat. I will open it up now, so you know you can already join in and tell us what projects you plan to do, what yarn you plan to use, and everything else. And then we will kickstart the whole thing at the start of September when I'm back from my trip. And yeah, I will post more about it on Instagram, more about it on YouTube. I will try to be keep you up to date with my preparation and my ideas, and I plan to do one video about the projects I'm planning to make, sort of as a preparation. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for sticking around until the end. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more content from me, please follow. Yeah, hit follow here, hit follow on Instagram. I'm the most active on Instagram. I am always in the stories. I chat with new yarny friends on the DMs, so you can reach out to me. I will put all my links in the description box. And yeah, basically my whole aim, my whole thought idea with this YouTube channel, with the Instagram, is to connect to more people, to be part of a community, and I think that goes really well. So I'm really happy that you're here, and I hope to see you next time as well. Take care. Bye bye.